Okay guys, we're moving on to section 2.3, which is adding rules, but we're doing adding rules with algebra mixed in. So, and just to kind of review for a quick sec where we were, in section 2.1 we were talking about like terms, and you had a lot of problems where you just had to add the like terms to each other. So number adds with number, an M term would only add with an M term. And then we did some multiplication problems here with parentheses. So you just multiply numbers together and put the variables at the end. All right, so let's move on to adding rules. Now, just to review, when you add numbers with the same signs, you just add the numbers and keep whatever the sign is. So two positive numbers, you just add it and keep it positive. Two negative numbers, you just add them and keep it negative. Now, when you're adding and the signs are different, like -9 and 3, you actually subtract the numbers. You're going to ignore the sign and you're just going to go 9 minus 6 is 3. And then you're going to take the sign of the bigger number, which in this case is 9. So, I'm sorry, 9 minus, that was confusing. Subtract the number, so 9 minus 3 is 6. Take the sign of the bigger number, which is negative, so it's -6. In this case, signs are different, so I'm going to subtract to 17 minus 8, which is going to give me 9, and 17 is the bigger number, which is positive, so it's +9. All right, so some of the problems you'll see, it doesn't look too different from the last section. Let's see. Let's do, okay, -12 plus 7 plus -14 plus 29. Now, as a note, if you see a parenthesis around a negative number, it's just an organizational parenthesis. They just want to keep this negative from bumping into this positive. So it's not a P in PEMDAS. There's nothing you can do with it. This doesn't even have to be there. All right, now it's all addition, and so I'm all under the A in PEMDAS, so it doesn't matter what order I add. If you can figure out an easy order, I would do that. Let's see, I think I'll just do the two negatives to each other. So 14 and 12. So I'm going to get a -26, and then I'm going to add the two positives, 29 and 7. 16, 36. And then I have two different signs, so I'm going to subtract them. 36 minus 26 is 10, and the 36 is bigger, so it's +10. You could have added just left to right if you wanted, it doesn't matter. Okay, that's just straight adding. Let's do this. -1/3 plus -1 2/3 plus 2. So they're going to throw some fractions at you, but because it's all addition, you could add in any order. So I'm going to go ahead and add the two fractions to each other first, then I'm going to add the 2. I would, just because this is how we did it before, I would go ahead, I mean, you could do this if you can think of a number line. -1/3 and 2/3 is going to make -3/3 or 1/2. But if you can't visualize that on a number line, just make this improper. So we have -1/3 plus -5/3, right? 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5. Keep the same denominator, 3, and then plus 2. Now, I have a common denominator, so I just have to add the top numbers. -1 plus -5 is -6/3 plus 2. Well, this fraction bar means divide, so -6 divided by 3 is -2 plus 2. that's going to equal 0. So if you have fractions like this or a mixed number, make the mixed numbers improper, and they're probably going to be common denominators already, so you just add the top numbers and keep the same denominator, then simplify. Okay, example 3. You'll have problems like -7 plus m plus -3 plus 2. All right, here, let me put a line here. It's all addition, so the order doesn't matter, except you have to keep in mind like terms. This m term can't add with the numbers. These three numbers can add with each other. The m doesn't add with anybody. So I'm just going to add the -7, the -3, and the 2 together. -7 and -3 is -10. So I'm done with those, plus m plus 2. And commutative property says I can rearrange the order if I want. -10 and 2 add to each other. So -10 plus 2 is -8 plus the m. And that's the final answer. And the directions will probably say simplify. But you want to go as far as you can go. Okay, let's do one more. I'm afraid my phone memory is just about full. My video is gonna die. Okay, let's do -6 plus 3y plus -6 plus 4. Okay, two negatives side by side make a positive. Or you can think of it this way. The opposite of, that's what a negative means, the opposite of -6 is +6. So really what I have is 6 plus 3y plus -6 plus 4. Remember, this parenthesis doesn't do anything. Look at what you have and look for the easiest way to add. Now the 3y can't add with these numbers, but the three numbers add to each other. 6 and -6 are opposites. They're going to cancel. Those two are going to add to 0. So look for opposites. That and that just canceled out. 3y and 4 are what I have left, but they can't add to each other because they're not like terms. So I have 3y plus 4 is my final answer. And let's say, let's try 7x plus bracket 9 plus -4 plus -3 close bracket. There's a bunch of different symbols here, but there's addition between everything. Technically, PEMDAS says I need to add these first. Honestly, in this case, it doesn't matter, but let's go ahead and do that. So 9 plus -4 is 5. Then you have plus -3. So that's going to go to a 2. And then I have 7x plus the 2. Those can't add to each other. So that will be the end. Okay, last. Okay, last type. I think is 6. Oops. Don't run out, don't run out. Example 6. We'll say evaluate if, and remember they're going to give you values for your variables. X equals -3, y equals 6, z equals -4. And let's say negative z plus negative 7 plus y. All right, plugging in, be really careful. There's a negative on the outside of this z, and then the z itself is negative. So notice that gives me a negative, this guy, and the negative 4 for the z, plus the negative 7, the parenthesis is just there to look confusing, plus y is 6. Well, negative, negative like this makes a positive. The opposite of negative 4 is positive 4, plus negative 7 plus 6. The order doesn't matter that I add these. I'm noticing that 4 and 6 make 10, and 10 plus negative 7 is going to be 3. All right.